There weren't buildings.
Dai Tsing is a so-called Red Princess, born into the party's elite. In 1989, she was a loyal patriot, working for a communist newspaper. She went down to the square to try and persuade the students to leave.
At the beginning of the students' movement, they are no brave, so-called brave. They just want to compromise. They want to discuss with the officials, not hope that a new revolution. So these kind of students, they, one by one, they left the center of the leadership. And what kind of person left? The person, just have the, every time just no compromise. This kind of person left, and they prepare to die. We are so sad as an independent, educated person, because the two sides, the hardliner in the government and the radical students leader, none of them want to listen to. They just want to confront with each other. And I don't believe the propaganda from the party that the army, the PLA people just love the people, for the people, and never do something hurt for the people. I don't believe. So I know something terrible will happen.
By the end of May, there were rumors that more troops were preparing to advance on the city. Some students had withdrawn to safety. The radical voices were urging the students, workers and intellectuals to stand firm, with some declaring they would fight to the death. In 1989, Robin Monroe was working as a human rights activist in China. I met him after he'd volunteered to translate for the BBC team. Today he lives in Hong Kong. I haven't seen him since.
How lovely
Hi, how are
to
you?
see you.
Hi.
A long time.
I never expected how ghastly it would actually be. That was the one thing I think nobody foresaw, that they would actually have a massacre. It was just almost primal confrontation between these young students, who were mainly the ones that remained, sitting on the monument. I went out there several times. They were writing their wills, they were determined to stay. And a small group of students had this big package in a cart that they were wheeling out. I thought, what can that be? Just leave it. And it turned out, we went over and turned out it was a Roneo machine, or one of those hand-cranked mechanical copying machines, sort of precursor of a photocopier. And I said to them, which would you rather have, the rifle or this machine? And they, not a moment's hesitation, he said, what use is the rifle? With this we can change China. So it was the sort of moral authority of youth in the middle there, ranged against the brute force of this repressive state all around them. I mean, it couldn't have been more stark.
Finally, the party leaders reached breaking point. On June the 3rd, Deng Xiaoping ordered another 15,000 troops into Beijing, led by the 27th Army, one of the toughest units in the People's Liberation Army. Unlike before, these troops were helmeted and heavily armed, Kalashnikovs at the ready. They had been told counter-revolutionaries were trying to take over. The students had been officially designated the enemy.
We imagined that the soldiers might just force their way in and clear us out. Perhaps beat us up with sticks, or at the very worst, shoot us with rubber bullets.
I saw the troops marching in. I saw the very noisy tanks moving in, and then gunshots going on. It's very real. It's quite obvious that this is it. This is the real massacre.
Suddenly, a few dozen troops ran down towards us, formed a sort of thin line, and began firing. And it was quite a sustained burst.
I'm quite sure the bullets were horizontal level. So because when the voice of a bullet passing your ear before and after is very different, it comes in, and then it's an experience. It's an experience.
孩子啊，你在天堂还好吗？
I saw the bullets shooting pure pink color, and I was completely shocked.
First, I couldn't believe it. I thought I can't believe the army shooting at people.
It was a direct military assault on unarmed people. But there were demonstrators prepared to resist. Our colleague Ding Peng witnessed hand-to-hand fighting.
An armored car, number 003, came into the square by itself, to everyone's surprise. So people went into it and burned it. I saw an army man in uniform. He was lying on the floor, rolling around like this, and the sticks from all directions were beating at him. So they were beating him to death. So an instinctive reaction was to take him out. And then sticks came to me.
You were beaten?
Yes, I was beaten. I could feel that, but I could feel the sticks on my head.
Where did you take the man?
Into the square. There was quite a few temporary clinics created by hospitals. So we took him into there, and on this way of some 50 meters, we were constantly beaten and kicked.